The sidewalk was quiet, the coffee still steamed. A kitten curled up where the morning light beamed. The city was stirring, the pigeons took flight, and people passed by wrapped in moments of light. A boy with a backpack, a girl on a bike, both headed somewhere through breezes alike. The crosswalks were blinking, the buses in line, the rhythm of morning precise and benign. A mother with groceries, hands full of plans, smiling at strangers with rings on her hands. The market sang softly with laughter and sound, and flowers stood proud in their paper wrap gowns. The kitten now yawned and stretched out her paws, charmed by the world and its simplest laws. A breeze from a bakery carried warm air of cinnamon stories that danced without care. The teacher walked slowly past chalk-colored gates, and children ran forward in friendship and faith. Their backpacks bounced as they clattered inside, with pencils and dreams they could never quite hide. The gardener hummed as he watered the green, and waved to the mailman with hands half unseen. The kitten just blinked and rolled on her side, as sun traced a pattern she couldn't abide. Two neighbors exchanged pots of soup and some bread, their words full of kindness, not much else was said. A girl shared a joke with an elderly man, who laughed with his eyes like a thundercloud can. The sky shifted softly from golden to blue, and time flowed like honey through all that we do. The kitten now wandered to nap in the shade, where quiet was soft and the worries would fade. A friend typed the message, then hit send with care, and smiled at the thought of someone out there. The minutes went on in their ordinary way, but shimmered with comfort and warmth and in play. The barista refilled a regular's cup, then wiped down the counter and tidied things up. She wore tired joy in the tilt of her brow, and carried the morning like only she'd know how. A painter took note of a cloud in disguise, and tried to describe it with brushes and sighs. The kitten chased feathers that drifted too slow, then curled in a journal with nowhere to go. The afternoon softened the edges of noon, with breezes that whistled an old lovely tune. A window swung open to let in the day, while curtains performed in a sugar lace sway. A father walked home with his daughter in tow, their laughter a lantern wherever they go. She pointed at birds and invented their names, and he simply nodded and played all the games. The sun leaned lower and scattered its gold on rooftops and lampposts and bicycle folds. The kitten had vanished, perhaps for a nap, or tucked in a garden beside a stray map. A father walked home with his daughter in tow, their laughter a lantern wherever they go. She pointed at birds that invented their names, and he simply nodded and played all the games. The sun leaned lower and scattered its gold on rooftops and lampposts and bicycle folds. The kitten had vanished, perhaps for a nap, or tucked in a garden beside a stream. Balloons on the ceiling, confetti in flight. Today is a sparkle wrapped up in delight. The trumpet of waffles, the tuba of cake. Let's party so loudly the moon will awake. A kitty in ribbons just juggled 3 pies, while pickles and top hats performed under skies. The cake did a cartwheel, the soda tap dance, even the lemons in chorus advanced. The snail on the spoons played a jammin' old tune, with jelly bean bongo beneath a cartoon. The puppy brigade rang their peppermint bells, you've none the lemons in chorus advance. There's dancing and puddings and laughter and jam. A snowman is rapping with raspberry glam. The squirrels do high kicks, the muffins can sing. What glorious nonsense this holiday brings. The presents are flying like doves made of fluff, stuffed with adventures and candy and stuff. Even the teacups wore glittery shoes, and Coco declared, let's samba the blues. The penguin conductor raised up his baton, and violins made out of biscuits played on. The moon sent a message by butterfly fleet, your party is trending in star sparkle heat. A crocodile choir crooned tales of moose, and turtles and tutus did jigs on a goose. The tablecloth waltzed with a toffee bouquet, its joy in its fluffiest marshmallow way. Streamers of jelly unrolled from the skies, unicorns giggled in cookie disguise, candles tap danced down the frosted buffet, as snowflakes spelled out, hip hip hooray! Wore a crown shaped like lemon tart, and danced to the rhythm of jam from the heart. Even the shadows stepped out of their place to twirl with eclairs in a basket of grace. The clouds dropped balloons shaped like honeycomb bees, who buzzed every giggle is shared on the breeze. And pies sang a doo-wop while spinning their crust, in the sugar dimension in kindness we trust. Kittens are flying on fizzy balloon, and cupcakes are orbiting close to the moon. A narwhal in mittens hands out a kazoo, play your sweet tune like it's only for you. A babushka dragon brings tinsel and tea, she knits with her laughter and hoots joyfully. She shouts, wrap your joy in a cinnamon song, this party is endless, it's 20 cups long. Daisies do limbo and donuts do flips, the jelly's reciting its poetry scripts. A carrot in sparkles declares from the side, this moment is frosting with sparkle and pride. We built a parade out of birthday balloons, with kazoos and castles and marzipan tunes. The hedgehogs are DJing joy on a spoon, and snowflakes are tickling the cheeks of the moon. Foxes in aprons bake laughter with thud, and every cupcake receives a big hug. The fireworks blew. Marmalade, whispers and breeze. A puppy named Misho danced under the trees. He carried a ribbon, a bell full of song, and hummed to the bees as he wandered along. He met Granny Mushka, glasses aglow, baking cloud cakes in a house made of snow. She said, every traveler needs a delight. Take this warm pie and follow the light. He skipped over raindrops made out of mint, past singing tomatoes and roses that squint. An owl in a tux tapped his cane on a log. I once gave advice to a rather rude frog. They sailed on a pancake with syrup for sails, through gingerbread forests and taffy-bound trails. A kitten named Leica in boots full of grace taught butterflies ballet and cinnamon lace. A squirrel sold poems for handfuls of jam, while a goat gave directions with slices of ham. A bridge played the banjo, a cupcake could hop, and a bubblegum zebra ran a balloon shop. Under the marshmallow moon they would meet, the chorus of beetles with lavender feet. They sang of a kingdom where puddings decree that joy must be shared and confetti is free. There danced a brigade of raccoons in disguise, who juggled blue stars and recited goodbyes. The hedgehogs wore glitter, the spiders wore pink, even the shadows paused quietly to think. A lemon sorcerer stitched ribbons of breeze to tickle the noses of porcupine bees. The trees offered cupcakes, the clouds served a stew of honeycomb laughter and dandelion glue. Jack from the beanstalk brought magical shoes, and Cinderella's mice sang old jungle blues. Puss in No Mood taught a snail how to tap, with cookies for drums and a fudge nap in lap. The carrots wore sunglasses deep in the shade, as trolls sold ice cream never quite made. Each story they told had a candy disguise, and rain was just whipped cream with licorice ties. An ancient giraffe who remembered each tale wrapped every word in a cinnamon veil. He said even Chekhov would smile if he knew how kittens with tambourines carried us through. The circus appeared in a whisper and blink, with teacup trapeze acts and lemonade ink. A hippo told riddles while juggling pie, and dragons in aprons learned how to fly. A choir of marshmallows floated on streams, conducted by dreams and pistachio beams. A narwhal in mittens spun yarns from the sea about pickles who danced at a sweet jubilee. A yak played kazoo while it painted the dew in polka dot patterns of peppermint blue. The forest itself clapped its barky old hands as unicorn bakers performed with their bands. Then fireflies lit up a strawberry stage, with babushka bats turning pages of sage. A fox with a crown poured joy in. There danced a brigade of raccoons in disguise, who juggled blue stars and recited goodbyes. The hedgehogs wore glitter, the spiders wore pink, even the shadows paused quietly to think. There danced a brigade of raccoons in disguise, who juggled blue stars and recited goodbyes. The hedgehogs wore glitter, the spiders wore pink, even in the shadows porcupine bees. The hedgehogs wore glitter, the clock it leads to think of honeycomb laughter and dandelion blue. Brigade of raccoons in disguise, who juggled blue stars and recited goodbyes. The hedgehogs wore glitter, the spiders wore pink, even the shadows paused. Honeycomb laughed me to think of honeycomb laughter and dandelion glue. Cast his spells and make things fly. His dreams were of enchantment, oh my. Fluffy the long-haired cat with a luxurious mane dreamed of comfort in a world without pain. She lounged on silk and dined on cream. Her dreams were of a perfect scene. So here's to the cats with dreams so bright in their world of wonder.